Not something I normally do, but here we go. Hi, I'm Kitty Monk. I'm here to talk to you about South Park, or more specifically, my ideas for Season 26. South Park, as you all know, is a show that's near and dear to my heart. My first ever video was on my ideas for South Park. I still remember recording it on the voice memos app in my basement closet, back when I still had a basement. Even if the memories send chills down my spine, greater than any winter storm. Nowadays, I have the audacity to use Audacity, and some of you guys have been asking for my thoughts on the new season. Since South Park is made 6 days before an episode airs, we typically don't have a good grasp on what exactly they'll talk about. Granted, by the time this video comes out, we'll probably know the plot of the season premiere, but we still don't know the plots of the other 5 to 9 episodes, and likely also the Paramount Plus specials. Just a heads up, this will get to be a little contentious, as I will have to talk about a lot of current events. But considering my thoughts on figures like Chef, Emperor Bellows, Beatrice Horseman, and most importantly, Justin Roiland, does my no politics rule even mean anything anymore? Just remember, keep it polite in the comment section. You guys have been mostly good so far, I just want to put it out there. Alright, here are some of my ideas, starting with Meghan and Harry. I've been upfront about this being the one topic I want South Park to make an episode on, simply because it's both contentious and it's recent. In 2019, Prince Harry married, say that rhymes, American actress Meghan Markle, known for the hit series Suits. About 1 year later, Meghan and Harry announced they would be leaving the royal family and created their own charity called Archewell. The pair have said this move is a product of the UK media, having a negative impact on Meghan's mental health, the royal family doing little to welcome either of them, and accusations of racism. Meghan and Harry have gotten flagged for this move, and for speaking out against the monarchy, be it through documentaries or talk shows or anything really. Things only got worse after the death of Queen Elizabeth, which honestly, they could wait and do one about the coronation later this year, especially since it's supposed to take place on the birthday of Harry's eldest child. Things only heated up when, on January 10th, 2023, Harry published his own memoir, Spare, which gave his side of the story. Knowing South Park, what would they say? Would they be on Meghan and Harry's side, the royal families, or would they call both of them out? Meghan and Harry, for argument's sake, could be whiny PC babies, while the royal family could be out-of-touch racists. Besides, they also did the whole making fun of a celebrity until they unalive themselves thing in Britney's new look. They could continue that here. But how would an episode go? Well, South Park generally refrains from making fun of the UK, often using Canada as a substitute. Like, instead of Prince William, we have the Prince of Canada. Maybe the Prince of Canada's brother, the Duke of Ottawa, moves with his wife to South Park. In Canada, nobody liked her because she's American. She was forced out by Scott. Then we go from there. But if that isn't to their liking, they could also discuss the Supreme Court. If you don't live in the US or are unaware, the Supreme Court, or SCOTUS for short, is the highest court in the land. Every year, they review a select number of high-profile cases, which can have far-reaching implications. The end of segregation, the decision of the 2000 election, and the right to gay marriage all came from Supreme Court cases. In recent years, the Supreme Court has gotten to be especially contentious, meaning there's a lot they could make fun about. There's the time SCOTUS overturned Roe v. Wade, and it was made public through a leak, which came out on the same day as the Met Gala, which Pajama Day really should have been about. However, that's not the only government thing they can make fun of. There were the Speaker of the House elections, where they had to go through tons of rounds just to confirm a candidate. They could have the South Park Student Council try and decide on, a new secretary, vice president, something like that. But a small yet stubborn group of students, led by, say, Cartman, won't let it go through. Or really, they could do anything involving Garrison, which I really don't hope they do, but they might have to if anything happens government-wise. Maybe the DOJ discovers Garrison took sensitive documents back to South Park. They tear apart his house, and he runs to Florida, where the member berries possess him and brainwash him to run again for president. Could be a way to resolve one of the show's worst plots. Maybe he is a female admirer in politics that's just itching to be his VP, and she makes lots of questionable conspiracy theories. But while we're on the side of politics, let's look at another controversial person, Kanye West. You know, I was gonna make a video on Kanye way back when, but when I decided to get around to it, I thought it was way too late. During the past few years, Kanye basically went crazy. He made many anti-Semitic remarks, ran for president, and lost, and in the process, lost many sponsorships and deals. South Park is no stranger to making fun of Kanye. Wait, I'm incorrect. His name is not Kanye West. He's Ye. Oh, they could also make fun of that. There was a whole episode where he's the only person in the entire world not to understand a joke, but insists he's the genius voice of a generation. In the process, to discover who's making fun of him, as far as he knows, he kills Carlos Mencia and nearly kills Jimmy and Cartman. In another episode, he interrupts Pope Francis during the Person of the Year Awards and breaks into Wendy's house, all because she called his fiance a Photoshop-toting hobbit. With South Park, there's 525,600 reasons for him to go crazy. Did he fall off the wagon and go back to being a gay fish? Did Kim send him to that camp Bradley and Butters went to? Or during the divorce, did he trade one lifestyle for another? Fish Sticks, was mostly about him and Cartman. This episode could be about him and Kyle. Kyle could have been a fan of Kanye, because honestly, he did used to make good music. Then he started saying all kinds of terrible things. Perhaps this is like the Mel Gibson episode. Cartman loves Kanye because he hates Kyle and wants to be just like him. Oh, but Kitty, he almost killed Cartman. Well, have you ever heard of mental gymnastics? Did you know Eric Cartman is amazing, smart, and totally not fat? Speaking of social justice, there's the Book of Mormon. In 2011, Matt Stone and Trey Parker teamed up with Robert Lopez, best known for writing songs for Frozen, Coco, and Avenue Q, and created a musical called The Book of Mormon, sort of inspired by the episode All About Mormons, which was originally meant to be a full-on musical. The Book of Mormon is about two missionaries, Elders Cunningham and Price, teaming up to go to Uganda and spread the word of Joseph Smith to the natives. However, in recent years, the musical has gotten accusations of racism, especially in relation to how it portrays the natives versus the missionaries. I mean, it sort of did when it came out, but they have only ramped up. In 2020, it culminated in a group of former and current cast members writing a letter to the trio, asking them to revise the musical. Surprisingly, they agreed, and held a 2-week workshop where they took the cast members' suggestions under advisement and made the necessary changes. Couldn't this be a plot? Matt and Trey are known for sticking to their principles, no matter who or what they offend. What could they say about revamping a musical that's meant to be offensive? Did they have to do it? Was it hypocritical of them? The Book of Mormon episode isn't out of the ordinary. Apparently, the subplot for Royal Pudding, you know when Mackie does this.
This play is supposed to change how people think, Kyle! Get it right!
Was inspired by the tech rehearsals. But if they don't want to cover this, they could always do another Broadway episode. True, there was Broadway Brodown, in which Randy finds out that Broadway musicals are made to subconsciously get women famished for BJs, but you know what? That was like a decade ago. Broadway has changed a lot. Now, thanks to stuff like the internet, being a theater kid is as big a subculture as being a goth or an emo. There's more musical adaptations, stuff like BroadwayCon, tours, slime tutorials, flea markets. There has never been a better time to get into theater. Not to mention because of current events. Broadway had to shut down for over a year, and many shows still struggle. Phantom of the Opera will close after 35 years. And many musicals nowadays don't even last a year. Oh, PJ, my baby? I don't know. Maybe it's my inner theater kid talking, but I would love another Broadway episode. Then there's the controversial idea of changing up mascots. In recent years, many female mascots have gotten revamped. Minnie Mouse occasionally wears pants. They added a purple M&M, voiced by Amber Ruffin, and they gave Miss Green sneakers. Clearly, you can't be a lustrous piece of chocolate, intelligent, an individual, and wear high-heeled boots at the same time. Yeah, not a big fan of what they did with Miss Green. This could be a whole episode. Remember The Hobbit, when Wendy protested untested Photoshop? Would she agree with the backlash against certain characters? Could they make fun of what's likely their promotion for the Super Bowl, with Maya Rudolph replacing the spokes candies? Or what about the juggernaut called HBO Max, who simply hates cartoons that aren't lowbrow comedies? As part of tax write-off, HBO Max has gotten rid of many cartoons, to the anger of many viewers and creators, including myself. Animation has not always fared well in the entertainment industry, and last year was a painful reminder. But HBO Max is not the only bad guy. Netflix canceled a good number just because they did not have Stranger Things level viewerships, including Dead End, Inside Job, and earlier Tuca and Birdie. Meanwhile, the CEO of Disney said he thought that adults don't like cartoons. Thankfully, he is no longer CEO. And Nick still cancels shows that aren't instant SpongeBob Loudhouse level successes, like Fairy Otter. Look, I hated that show, but they should have kept it online. Granted, South Park streams on HBO Max, meaning they might not be able to make as much fun of it as they wanna, but there's other HBO Max shows they can easily make fun of. The Last of Us, House of the Dragon, Barry, Euphoria, White Lotus, Thelma. But there's one HBO Max darling I'm sure they'll touch on. Oh god, wrong words. Rick and Morty. Basically, one of the co-creators of Rick and Morty is in a pickle.
Pickle Rick!
Don't you dare. If you want to know more, watch my Justin Roiland video. Anyhow, I don't think South Park has actually ever given their thoughts on the show. I would love an episode about Rick and Morty. Look, the show is cool, but I do understand why people don't like it. However, if you want a more current event, what about that weather balloon in Myrtle Beach? You know, Myrtle Beach, the Camden of South Carolina. Coming in last, but certainly not least, is Casa Bonita. Ooh, Casa Bonita, Casa Bonita. Food and festive atmosphere. Oh my god, I forgot the song. Like, the only reason I'm disappointed to live in Jersey and not Colorado is we don't have a Casa Bonita. But if you did not know, Casa Bonita is a real restaurant that Colorado kids went to back in the day. The Chuck E. Cheese of Mexican restaurants. However, it fell on hard times during current events and went into bankruptcy. Nat and Trey bought the restaurant and have plans to reopen it this May in its rightful glory, cliff divers and all. Ooh, wouldn't it be cool if we got an episode celebrating Casa Bonita reopening? The food, the fun, and the festive atmosphere. Oh yeah, that's what it is. The possibilities are endless. However, these are only my ideas. What do you think South Park Season 26 will do? Will they talk about inflation, Tom Brady, Bruno, politics, entertainment, manatees? Be sure to comment down below.